Hi, welcome to If I Did It, a show where we analyze and solve. Analyze and solve PR kerfuffles of a world not beyond. I'm your host, Lexi Old, author of 7 Secret Sources of Inspiration, a snappy guide for creative procrastinators. Joining me as always is Kid Nate from Bloody Elbow and of the Let It Roll podcast, and Eugene S. Robinson from Aussie.com, and author of Fight Everything You Ever Want to Know About Asking. We're afraid to get your ass kicked for asking, a.k.a. the MMA Pancholes.
Pancholes! Ole!
Ho! Eugene,
Sir.
you're Conor McGregor. Since this show is, as someone astutely pointed out, all about that Conor McGregor clickbait.
McNuggets, we love McNuggets.
You should see the topics I came up with, and they was like, what about Conor McGregor? I was like, oh, I forgot. With rumors of a plea deal preventing your imprisonment, what is your best PR plan, live and in public, if you will, to promote your pugilistic prosperity?
Well, he's learned some super valuable lessons. Okay, I'm Conor. I've learned some super valuable lessons. And these are lessons that I, in my own life, look, I get stopped by cops in America. Do you know why I stop you? And I said, well, it's a bullshit stop, but I guess you need to make quota. That might come out of my mouth, stuff like that. I get stopped by a cop in Nuremberg in Germany, and, I was a little friendlier, just because it was a new experience for me. And it was a lady cop and a guy cop, and I swear to God, they were both high. But I played it by the books. I didn't want to give any lip. I got so comfortable that after a certain point, I started talking to the lady cop like, have you been a police officer long? I thought I was having a cross-cultural love experience. So I think when Conor comes to New York City, a place we're given the propensity, it's a gross generalization to say this, propensity for large numbers of Irish guys to be on the police force. I think that he healthily expects, if he plays ball, healthily expects a fucking decent deal. This is the amazing thing about OJ. Those cops had been up to his house so many times. They fucking love that guy and looked the other way so many times. The reason is this betrayal thing that when he turned it around, like, oh, these are rogue cops after him. It was cops were personally really offended. Cops I knew were really offended. It's like, man, this is a fucking major league betrayal. We got you trying to be. He probably could have skated on it without resorting to that, but he did. So that's my way of saying that all Conor has to do is follow a fucking script. I'm sorry. It's terrible, this thing I done. I don't know what came over me. I'm willing to make it right in any way possible. Here, I'm throwing myself on the mercy of the court. They slap his hands, and he goes on his fucking $150 million way. That's it. It's mind-boggling when you have a Johnny Boney Joni. Who knows? The script is right here. All I gotta do is follow it. It goes into his hearing, doesn't know shit. Somebody doesn't know anything, can't figure it out. No prep, apparently, much like our president decides to wing it. It never works. He had one job. He performed that job well. I'm anticipating that he'll get a slap on the wrist, that I will get a slap on the wrist. And at this point, I would hope that the whole experience has reinvigorated my interest, $150 million or not, to fight again, because he would still be a rich man in the pokey. It's just like, what are you going to fill your time up with? And I'm imagining there's less dancing on tables in Ibiza with a cardboard cutout of his face on his face. He's got to hold it down, and he's doing exactly what Johnny Boney Joni should have done. Not out speeding afterwards, after the first thing, going choir boy. And that's exactly what I needed to do, and I'm doing it.
What about you, Nate?
I can't argue with that. I was very pleasantly surprised. I mean, I shouldn't have been surprised. In the normal world, McGregor's statement to the court is totally rote. It's what you expect. It's what any half-assed lawyer will tell you to say. In the MMA world, this was like Moses coming down the mountain with the tablets of revelation. Because in the MMA world, it's like usually, here's my quack doctor. he's been disbarred and, lost his license in multiple states. And he's got a big thing that says anti-inflammatory on it. It's like a horse urine and some crackpots. Like, this is MMA. In MMA, your manager says things like, I actually signed those forms for him. That's MMA world. So Conor McGregor doing the best.
Or how about this one? I couldn't have possibly have raped her because I couldn't get an erection.
Well, that one actually worked.
It did.
So, that one led to an acquittal. So yeah, no, I was proud of our boy McGregor, and it gives one hope. I mean, the sport is clinging to life by a thread and an ESPN deal, and you need the biggest star in the history of the sport to get his shit together and get back in the cage in the worst way. So here's hoping. I mean, that was a very positive step. He did seem a little contrite. I mean, he actually emoted contrition, which
sincerity is everything. And once you got that fake, you got it made, kid.
Exactly. Which is something John Jones cannot do anymore. Yeah. There was a time when he could spew just unadulterated bullshit about how you're never going to see me wrecking my car. I'm a good Christian and the whole bit. And once the mask fell off, he can't put it back on. I mean,
no. Can't not. Don't never underestimate the stupidity of the public. He can put it back on. I'm saying that he doesn't want to.
Jones, it's quite possible.
I've been fucking liberated. Why? Fuck it. You know what? Rashad was right. Now, fuck you. So,
well, it does show you the difference that money and a good team around you make, right? So at the end of the day, look, you could have a good team, and if you don't want to listen to the great advice that you're paying for, that's on you. And we've seen that happen in different kinds of situations. One non-MMA situation was Nate Parker back in the day.
I was just going to say.
Right?
He was a wrestler, so you could talk about him as a wrestler.
Oh, there we go. So he was prepped. He had the team ready to explain the rape charges and everything.
He consulted with Oprah.
He turned Oprah down. Oprah said, look, fuck you, Oprah. So he finally had his team together, fucked it up. And then they said, okay, let's get another team. Let's prep him. He goes on, going to make amends with Robin Roberts. And then she's like, I'd like to talk about the controversy involving what controversy? About your situation with. I don't understand what you're talking about. I'm here to talk about my movie. It's like, so that's the end of his career.
He goes rogue.
So that's the thing with John Jones. At the end of the day, it's just there are times in which you, as an MMA fan, you want the sport to excel and go into a different trajectory. And then you see at the end of the day, you know what? If your stars aren't putting the time, money, energy, and effort into giving a fuck, don't be surprised when your sport's in the toilet.
Well, to be surprised, you would actually have to be at your desk, And when they're calling you and they're texting 911 and you got, I wonder what that means. Somebody's texting me 911. What does that mean again? Is it like a memorial for the buildings, right? Oh, no, it means it's important? What? I'm sorry. I don't understand what you mean.
Terrible.
That was my imitation of the bald one, ladies and gentlemen, whose name is above the title in the Contenders, if you're confused about who the bald one is. Above the title. At what is that? 14-point typeface? Is that the font? 14 points?
Well, that's so you don't confuse it with. Does anyone else have a Contender show? No.
Yeah.
Nate.
Stallone did.
The Contender. That's right. Yeah. But he didn't have his name in it. It wasn't Sylvester. And it was not Sylvester Stallone's Contender. It was the Contender.
Yeah, he's not enough of an egomaniac to actually put his name above the title. What does that say? A guy who's done 18 Rocky movies. Starred.
And they had Sugar Ray Leonard in it. Like they had, they had star power attached. Mark Burnett. Anyway, Lord, depressed. Nate, you're the UFC. Are you back in the Brock Lesnar business for real?
You know it. I mean, if the cupboards are bare and
Old Mother Hubbard.
Old Mother Hubbard's dog comes in with a bone. It doesn't care how, you don't care how chewed out it is. You don't even care if it's really a bone. You're hawking that shit. I mean, they got nothing. Nothing. They've put on 4 title fights on 2 cards this year for less than a combined 500,000 pay-per-view buys. I mean, talk about your wad is shot. I mean, this is like, a 17.
I probably could do those numbers if I volunteered to fight Tank Abbott in my front yard.
Possibly with enough promotional budget, and I mean they got nothing. And so this plus Brock Lesnar versus John Jones. There's this built-in delay because we don't know when John Jones is going to be, through serving his suspension, and then Brock Lesnar has to get a bye and everything. So this is the absolute epitome of wolf tickets. There's no there whatsoever. I mean, and even if they do get this fight, if this fight does manage to crawl into the cage, Brock Lesnar's ancient. He doesn't like getting hit in the face. John Jones has grown into, I guarantee you, John Jones has grown into his frame since we've seen him last.
Based on the pictures I've seen from my spies there, fuck yes.
Yes, and he is now a true heavyweight. And John Jones is a mean, vicious, effective fighter who doesn't really mind getting hit in the face. And if you recall Brock Lesnar, what is Brock Lesnar a lot like? Does not like to get hit in the face. So this whole thing.
Actually, he doesn't like to get hit anywhere.
No. As
kind of like he's like Babo Sapo.
Yeah,
he's willing to tap first sign of trouble.
He's getting there. He's getting there. I mean, maybe a Bob Sapp Brock Lesnar match might be.
Oh man. See, now we're thinking out the box.
Okay, look, in this fight, let's have an agreement. Okay, no punches thrown. Okay.
Nobody tap before the other guy tap.
I would pay $10 just for the stare down. Come on, I'm fucking geeking out now just thinking about those 2 behemoths on stage trying to mad dog each other.
Yeah, just nobody let a mouse out in the general vicinity.
That would be like Bluto, where with Popeye cartoons up on a chair with his skirt up around his knees.
Exactly. So
I think a 3-way dance like they used to have in wrestling would actually work with Bob Sapp and Brock Lesnar. You just need to have somebody come in there that actually, that punches and isn't afraid to get hit, and he just go in and destroy the stare down.
What about Cain Velasquez can come in unable to lift either arm, above here?
We're thinking outside the box now. We should go with this for a second. Who is Bob Sapp contracted with right now?
I don't know. Last time I heard from Bob Sapp, he was hopping around to whatever fly-by-night promotion.
You can't tie him down, baby.
Suitcase.
So, all right. So, because you got to give Lesnar a fight that he can win to bring up to some fucking juice here. He's not going to fight CM Punk. Bob Sapp is a perfect fucking tomato can for that.
I would like to see CM Punk and Brock, or Lesnar could feast on CM Punk. They could do him like the Hulk does people in those Marvel movies.
Yeah. So anyway,
yeah. No, they're serious about it. It's all they fucking got.
Oh, is it my turn? Have you finished talking?
Let Alexi call on you, sir.
Mr. Nate.
This show has a host and a moderator.
Are you ready, Eugene?
Yes, I am, sir.
Answer away.
If I'm the oopsie, I do exactly. I mean, he shows every now and then the Baldwins shows a glimmer of animal intelligence. Like saying, look, that's not even used to happening, Brock Lesnar, John Jones. I mean, John Jones and Brock Lesnar. I mean, look, because he knows, like the old saying goes that Bismarck said that, something's true in the politics that people start denying it. So he's playing that card. If he said, oh, yeah, I'm trying to put it together now, that puts us right squarely where we are right now in the land of fucking empty dreams and dashed hopes and promises. So he says, he goes the opposite way. He zags and says, instead of zigs, and says, oh, no, look, there's a lot of impediments that are happening, leading us to all the chattering class and all the real fucking deep, fight addicts. We're desperate crumbs. We're like, oh man, this is gonna set this up. It'll be great. This super fight. We got Cormier against Miocic, and there's light. I think there's light. I hear there's a chopping of wood, but there's light. There's got to be somebody next to that light, right? I'm not in the mist, right? That's just fog. Is there a difference? That's what we'd like to fucking think. They got nothing else. I'm liking the development because we know there's no fighter development. I'm liking the development of the Tyron Woodley, Colby Crappington thing. But I have to say in early stages that Woodley is winning. His statement today that I read was pretty fucking phenomenal. I mean, I'm not a big fan of his, but that statement was pretty great in which he cops that John Jones having called him and volunteered to train him. But then he's saying, like, he's got a boo-boo belt. What the fuck is that? The guy's running around thinking he's a champion. He doesn't call the shots. Don't call the shots. You got a cereal box belt. And I thought that was actually for Tyron high quality smack. And largely, though, kid Nate has predicted his demise, and he's getting old. He's coming off the surgery. I think that this is an emotional one that he'll gut out, even if like Tiger Woods, his leg is broken, and on the 16th hole, he's gonna finish fucking playing this through. I mean, and he's unlikely to make a Jose Aldo mistake, who just gets so overcome with emotion that he does less than what he plans, which is to systematically dismantle this piece of shit Crappington. Or maybe I'm just drinking the Kool-Aid and convincing myself that it's not laced with cyanide and it'll be fine and we'll have a sport again come August or September. Maybe that's what's happening. But the Lesnar, Lesnar loses to one of the greatest fighters ever. No shame. Took the fight. No fucking shame. In Trump's America, there's a good bit of steam in a Great White Hope. It's a good fight. That's it. People might line up for that. They might buy lots of fucking tickets. A lot of people. Johnny Boney Joni versus some other fight that people are like, yeah. This is a bona fide fucking super fight. Big talent, big ticket item. It's the biggest fight either one of them could fight right now. And I'd be geeked to see it. And
make sure they can roid up for it.
I don't know. Usually
special roids.
Usually you'd expect something like that out of me, but the reality of it is, you understand. Have you heard this corporate? You've heard of this corporate thing of 360 degree where they are T-comp is what they call it.
Right.
So okay, yeah, we're only going to pay you $60,000. However, that's not the real figure you should pay. That you should do. T-comp means you got to factor in your health insurance, your vacation time, all the perks for total compensation. I mean, I have the same approach to fighting now. It's not enough for the matchmaking to be good. It's not enough for the smack talk and the lead up to be good. It's not enough for the weigh in and the stare down to be good and the press conferences to be good. It's not enough for the officiating and the fight and the judging to be good. The aftermath has to be good too. And I got to tell you, this fucking USADA thing, popping guys after the fight, that's a sport killer. Sorry, it is. I can't believe there's not a more streamlined way. But once there's a win, just like the touts in Las Vegas, you gotta let that win stand and let it breathe. Let it take in some air, like a fine wine. It really fucks with your head when there's a reversal. Think about how you felt when Johnny Boney Jr. got popped last time. That was deflating, and that was almost like the second baseball strike where I know lots of people, I'm not coming back. Fuck you, baseball. Fuck you. And a lot of the guys I know who are hardcore Mets fans have never gone back.
Well, it's hard to also watch the replays of those fights, right? Even like the Bigfoot Silva versus Mark Hunt. You can't watch it because all this damage is occurring when this guy has a chemical advantage. Totally destroys it.
Go back to the older fights that you can watch, and a lot of those.
Man, the depression machine rages on, baby. Nate, who's in your heel turn?
I got to go with Keith, a.k.a. Sean Shelby, man. That last card, because the Romero-Whitaker fight, other than Romero missing weight, which is a pretty big piece of shit.
By 0.2? I've seen the scale they use. Don't give me that 0.2 shit. That was a fucking fix.
Well,
he had to go to the bathroom, and he had a 0.22, all right, in there. Number 2, at a 0.2 number 2. They wouldn't let him dump.
That's right. They would not let him go to do what he needed to do. So they had.
the weight cutting thing and USADA are two of the biggest turds on the plate, along with the Reebok deal. But to me, it's the matchmaking, because other than missing weight, which, like I said, big turd on the plate, but that fight was fucking brilliant. I mean, the first fight was really good, but this fight, there was, Romero adjusted, Whitaker adjusted to those adjustments, Romero adjusted again. I mean, this was a great fight.
Got a couple of 10-8 rounds.
Don't even start me on that. But this was such a classic case, of hiding your shine under a bushel, man. I mean, because that CM Punk fight on the same card was such crap, such garbage. It should not have been anywhere near a professional event. I mean, it's like they took the kids from Punch, Pass, and Kick or whatever, Punt, Pass, and Kick, and put them in against an NFL team or something, or they got the old drunk dudes from the NFL Hall of Fame and put them on a game before the Super Bowl. I mean, it completely ruined one of the best fights I've seen. I mean, the game planning and the adjustments and the skill of Whitaker and Romero was at such a high level, and they put it on such a shitty card. And the Crappington fight before that was painfully, painfully bad. It's just getting to where you can't even enjoy the good parts of this shit anymore. I mean, sorry. It really sucks, because this is my livelihood. I like my livelihood. I like the whole setup, except for the fucking product we're supposed to be hawking.
And you don't want to really feel like a guy who works in a grocery store, one of the most thrilling scenes for me in the Borat movie was in the grocery store in the cheese aisle. And when he's asking that, well, what's this? Cheese. What's this? Cheese. And you think at some point, we've already got the joke and the punchline. At some point, he's going to let this guy go, but you can see his mind working, and he wonders, like, at what point, like we used to play this game, what would it take? Any given course of action, when pushed to a ridiculous extreme, like, your waiter comes up, you get a glass of water? Yeah, I'll take a glass of water. Glass of water. After the 13th or 14th glass of water, it's like, yo, fuck, man, no more water for you, okay? And what? But this guy doesn't. He goes through every single piece of cheese on this cheese display. He goes, what's this? Cheese. What's this shit? He got about 30 fucking cheeses. He goes all the way through the end. You know what that is? That's a broken man. That's a broken man. He doesn't even know enough to take the boot off of his fucking face. Not even enough. And that's when you get that. If you're a totalitarian leader like a Hitler, that's where where your bouillabaisse has reached perfection. Where the jailed jail themselves.
Man, sounds like the Lost Battalion a little bit.
I have to say, with the Lost Battalion, the black hole, the misty black hole of Chris Weidman has blinded me to the other entries over the past few weeks, which have been significant. For example, when Rashad Evans stands up and says, I might have to think about doing something different with my career, you're like, fool, what? Might? Yo, bro, look to the left of you, look to the right of you. If you see anything other than mist and wood, I'd be very surprised. Don't give me this might stuff. Stop it. You're talking about might. Might? Yeah, I might be rich someday. That's got the same impact. And everybody around you, I guarantee you, if you look in their eyes, you will see everybody around you look like it's a visual representation of what I just said. So Rashad, please, you're at that point where for whatever reason, they're going to let you keep doing what you want to do, but that shit's it's ridiculous. It is ridiculous. Stop. It's not cool. It's like what you heard the Barry Manilow song, Copacabana?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're like Lola.
Man.
Faded feathers in her hair. That's it. She's lost her Tony and she's lost her mind. Now you can't get that out of your head. So yeah, I missed him, and that was a pretty significant miss. And I'm gonna have to say, not Lost Battalion, but Event Horizon. And I was reminded of this when Tyron Woodley touched on it today. It should be realized it should be realized. Yes, he's pliable. Remember the rule of three. He's pliable, but it should be realized based on non-fight factors that if Crappington loses against Woodley, he's in deep, dark space where no one can hear you scream. Because he's probably enough of a company guy to take anything they give. $5,000 a fight, I'll take it. But you got no base, bro. Got no base. There's that one guy who's arguing with me on Twitter about it, and he hates you. He just thought I was being injudicious by not considering the possibility that maybe you won. If that's the best fan base you got, you got God. So that's it. You gotta beat Woodley. You gotta beat. You gotta. If you do not beat Woodley, you're fucking it. You're done. So I mean, that's not Lost Battalion quite yet, but it's event horizon because one false step from here on out, you're sunk. You are sunk. That's the difference between you and Chael. Chael had actually pulled enough people in to have what could be considered a base because he was genuinely funny. And Woodley got you today with like, you're fake. The whole thing is fake. You got little bits of Chael. You got little bits of McNuggets. You got little bits. You got an ill-fitting suit. You got that. It's not. We're seeing right through you. And it may not have been accurate, but it was accurate enough, just like 50 Cent and Ja Rule, that you could hear the brakes starting to squeal.
Damn. Thanks for joining us. Follow us on Twitter at Eugene S. Robinson, Lexi All the Kid Nate. Facebook, I'm a Pancholes.
One guy that I do that. Oh, thumbs up? I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, but I'm glad you do because I enjoy it. But then again, I enjoy
you enjoy my Conor McGregor invitation. So there you go.
That's right, and my Sean Connery. Subscribe to MMANation.com, YouTube, MMA Nation on iTunes. Visit Bloody Elbow. Buy 7 Secret Source Inspiration. Box Wilson, Black Duke, and Buñuel's Easy Way Out, wherever fine music is sold. And listen to Let It Roll podcast, meaning following the show. Eugene, what do they need to do?
Right below this picture, probably below where my finger is, there's a link. If Kid Nate has done the right thing, he's put the link in. You click on that, and 90 seconds later, you go to If the Shoes Fit, where we do the same thing outside the world of MMA. Right below. We have to log out too and log back in. All you have to do is click over. Consider yourselves lucky.
That's right. We'll be back next week in another installment of If I Did It. We don't know what we're going to be talking about yet because the PR mistakes have yet to be made.